This week is Bootcamp, Karaoke Bootcamp. So, Monday through Friday, we will go through the Karaoke Bootcamp, which is always very interesting. In my case, personally, what happens is I end up singing that song, in my mind for the entire week. And, absolutely love doing that. Which song is a song from Chinatown? बार बार देखो. Old मोहम्मद रफ़ी song. रवि साहब का म्यूज़िक है. Absolutely fantastic rhythm. You can't beat that. But before we get there, the Friday session where I talked about sound systems and this and that generated questions. So let me go and address those questions first. Then we will talk about what do we do in the boot camp every day. I'll explain that. And then we will do the Monday part of the boot camp, which is uttering. Uttering is just saying the words, not singing them. Saying them in tal, not saying them randomly. Saying them in tal. So chalo, we'll talk about that. So Monday we utter the words, we listen to the tracks, and we say things in prose that goes with the tal. That's supremely important because that sets the beat in your mind. And when you start singing, your your lubs come out correctly. The weightage on the lubs, the pronunciation, everything improves drastically when you initially start with just uttering and not singing. We spend Tuesdays in listening to contra melody. What is contra melody? Contra melody is definitely a Western concept brought to our music mainly by Goan musicians. Uh, Starting from 1950s when they started coming to Bombay, as it was called that time, Mumbai now. So contra melody is not your accompaniment, but it's a different piece of music that plays while you are singing. And it's very interesting concept. We'll talk a lot about that in some other episode. So that's what we do on Tuesdays. Wednesdays we do tal counting. So there are certain ways, tricks to every song where you can start counting the tal from a known location so that you don't make mistakes when you want to catch the line. Once you grasp that completely, super simple. People will think that you are genius, but you are counting from a known location. You know how many to count and how to do that. Thursday is a very interesting day because we assume there will be mistakes on the stage, and then we talk about that, and then we kind of say how do we recover from those mistakes. Mistakes hua to the don't panic, nothing will happen, and then if you have a plan for it, then everything works out fine. Friday we just spend singing. So ठीक है. So that is what we'll do this week. The questions. So first question was why this is related to sound system. Why feedback? The feedback क्यों आता है? So the reason there is feedback is that your microphone amplifies your sound, and if sound that is being amplified from the speakers is fed back to the microphone, there is a positive loop, and then that's a never ending thing. And that happens typically if you stand in front of the speakers, then speakers will blare out things that will be caught by your microphone, which is the same thing that you are singing, and that loop just continues, resulting in horrible sound. सीटियाँ बजने लगती है, all kinds of things happen. Next question that people asked was uh, in the in my frequency adjustment, what should I do? Bass frequency or which is the lower or the middle or upper, that's a very broad category of things. I mean, clearly the latest sound systems will have many knobs, and if it's a digital, then it's almost continuous, you can adjust many things. So the in general, most of the karaoke live things, they lack a bass sound. So increase the bass because it sounds otherwise very sharp in the auditorium. But if you increase the bass for the tracks, because usually the tracks don't contain good bass, so that's you have to compensate a bit. If you get really good tracks, then that doesn't happen. But if you get really good tracks but do not enhance the bass enough, then it still sounds very sharp. If and your sound, your voice adjustment depends on the how you are singing. If your singing is you have like a low uh, you know, low volume, low type of sound, then increase your high frequencies. Otherwise, increase your low frequencies. And most of the good sound system handlers will be able to tell you that. There are some more questions that will address as we go through this week. But right now, let's go to the song. Here is what we want to do for the song. I'm going to play the song. You are going to utter it. We'll do it 2 times in a row. Okay. Utter is you do not sing it. You say it in prose but in tal. All right. Let's go. Very good. I'm going to rewind it all the way back, maybe increase the sound a little bit more, and then we will do this whole thing again. There is a tendency to sing, but trust me, ek din ke liye, don't do it, just utter. Let's go again. All right. So one thing is, when you finish this song, ask your sound person to fade it out so that you don't have to stay for all these lines at the end. Fantastic singing. We will continue to do this the entire week. So I will see you tomorrow as we continue our karaoke bootcamp. Bye then.